Super Bowl Sunday, it started out, we had family, friends coming over, had food to make, and around 11, I started feeling nauseous, and I thought it's winter. It was a stomach cold that was going around, and it seemed to hang on, and just very sick to my stomach. And finally, around, I would say 6:30 or so, my husband came up. He'd been coming up to check me, but he noticed that the right side of my face was drooping, and my speech was getting slurred around at that point. And so he called our doctor and basically was told to go to the hospital. Then he tried to get me out of bed, and I couldn't stand. I couldn't move my right arm. My right leg wouldn't support me at all. So they called 911, and they came, and they realized obviously that this was a lot more than stomach flu. That it was that point everyone said, okay, this is a stroke. And listening to the doctors, they were discussing the IVs, and it's been over 3 hours, so you can't use the clot busting IVs at that point. They had done the CAT scan, the MRI, so they knew what the situation was with the clot. And Dr. DeVeckis came in and explained that there was this procedure that they could go in and try and break up the clot and pull it out. Before the procedure, I was really thinking that I didn't want to, I didn't want to stay like this. If there was any way to get back to any kind of regular life. I didn't want to burden my husband with, what would have been taking care of a complete invalid at that point. And we have 2 teenage sons. I didn't want to leave them without a mother, because that's sadly what it would have been at that point. Anything we can do, anything science can do, medicine can do, please help me. The procedure itself, it was awkward just from the point, again, that I couldn't communicate anything. But I went in, and some of it's sort of fuzzy, but it was basically, I know there was the pressure on my right side of my groin because they were putting the catheter in. And mostly there was some tension in my neck, which I had been told ahead of time that was when they were putting the drug into the clot, that it would feel like burning in my neck muscles, which it did, which wasn't bad. It was just there. And then there would be pressure when they went to take the clot out. And that's what it was. That was like a very intense headache. But once they got it out, it was gone. Once the procedure, or the main part of the procedure, was finished, it was really a miracle, I'll say, because I could begin to tell them, it wasn't clear, but it was certainly, my vocal abilities were a lot more than they had been, which was grunting before. I could get words out. I could move my toes and my fingers, where before they were just nothing. They were dead weight. By the time they were done with the whole procedure and had the little incision, tiny little incision, bandaged up and had me back, I could move my arm and leg. I could talk. When I saw my husband again, I could say something to him. I could say, I love you. I could say the things I couldn't say before I went in. Once the procedure was done, they took me up to a room, and I would say by the next morning, I was maybe 60% better. I could speak. There was a little slur. I could move my arm and leg. And I was in the hospital for 5 days, and by the time I came out, I would say I was 80%. I did physical therapy at home, and I would say right now, 30 months after the incident, that I am 99% of what I was, as far as, there's no issue with the speech. My arm and my leg are almost exactly what they were before. And thinking about it now, it really amazes me. And it gives me hope that other people can have the same experience, because, not that I want them to have the same experience, but the same outcome. This is a brand new procedure here. If this had happened to me 2 months before, I wouldn't be recovered. I wouldn't be sitting here.